thanks everyone. Thanks Narsi for making me a part of this, and good to meet each one of you. So a very quick introduction about Anicut Capital. We manage assets across asset classes, primarily debt, early stage, which is in the form of an angel fund and a growth equity fund. I am a part of the growth equity fund. We invest anywhere from about 3 to 5 crores, depending upon the stage of the company, all the way to about 100 crores. And, what we believe as far as sustainability is concerned is that, firstly, I'm glad we are all, I mean, or rather, I am a part of one of the four thinkers, in the society, and I'm speaking amongst them, right? Because what we believe is that in sustainability, a lot of adoption, behavioral change that's needed en masse is actually sort of government driven or pushed by the government, right? And if there are entrepreneurs who are already building much before what the government says, then we can safely assume they are thinking far ahead in time than the rest of the world. As far as sustainability is concerned, we have one portfolio company called Uravu, which we have invested, which is an atmospheric water generator. But we continue to be sort of bullish on this theme for a few reasons. One, like I first mentioned, this is something that's inevitable, right? The question is not whether, the question is about when. And water specifically is or will reach crisis proportions perhaps in a few years to come. Like I said, it's a question of when. Secondly, we think that there is a lot more of I would say opportunities that can be built around when someone is building for sustainability, right? So what I mean by that is, if for instance, I've taken automotive example, if there is a OEM plant that's coming up, right? And I read somewhere that it takes about 3 to 4 lakh liters of water to sort of manufacture a car. So when any kind of technological development comes in areas apart from sustainability becomes a focus naturally, right? And we would rather preempt that and get that sorted much before it becomes a crisis. So that's the second reason we are bullish about it. And finally, we think that look, if there is one sector that's not been looked at for the last 100 years or so, that's been sustainability. Because at every point in time, the outcome has always been measured in terms of economic or financial returns and not in terms of sustainability returns. And carbon credits is one among such innovations that's come up in the last maybe 50 years or 30 years. So we will see more such innovations coming up, and these are a few reasons why we continue to be bullish on sustainability. So yeah, I mean, I'm very keen to be part of this panel, and thanks once again, Arsi. Thank you, everyone. Maybe I'll take the liberty to go first, Narsi. Maybe I was just thinking about this in the earlier, point also, right? See, any business, any opportunity, there are three key legs to it, right? One is that a business addresses either an inefficiency or it addresses an opportunity, that is a lack of a solution, right? The second part or second leg to any business is how do you sort of sell that, and why would you make the customers buy? And the third part is the monetization, right? And you sort of covered the second and the third part, right, in the challenges. So which the corollary of it makes it very clear that everybody is convinced that there is an opportunity, right? There is an inefficiency, there is a better way to do things. Now, one thing which I've seen across all of this is that policy or policy making by the by the legislative is actually very, very slow, one. And two, it is late, right? And a consequence of it, right? So a great example for that will be maybe not in water, but what happened in CNG, right? So everyone was pushing for electric cars and CNG. It's not a new technology, but then the moment there was a 50,000 or a 1 lakh rupee incentive that came in, right, everybody rushed to do that. Similarly, same thing happened with adoption of CNG cars in Delhi, right? So I think policy making is something where I would believe, there is a significant challenge. Maybe startups have to sort of work along. That is one. The other challenge that I see is that uh, you spoke about monetization. I think the deeper question about monetization is that it's not about whether you can make money or whether there is an ability to make money, but the opportunity cost of it, right? So what entails, or what does someone lose if this solution is not there? Now that alternative, as far as water is concerned, is actually very, very and it's very thin, in the sense, if there is no water available, right, it becomes a political narrative, and the government has to make water available, which makes monetization a challenge, right? Now so one level deeper that you think about monetization is, how do you actually preempt these kind of problems, and then you make them available in advance, right? To sort of make it viable business model. So these are two things which I would say. So just to summarize, one is policy: how quickly or how efficiently can policies be made, right? And second thing is, how do you sort of preempt certain things which eventually can become viable business models before they become certain social narratives, and as a result, they don't become monetizable, or they don't become business friendly. So yeah, one challenge that we have to also consider is the behavioral change, right? Most of us, what has happened is, these RO systems have actually penetrated into the house, but then people are used to it, right? So the question really is not about whether there can be a new company which replaces it. There can be many products, right? But are people ready to change behaviors? And if at all, if you're going to change behaviors, how do you go about it, right? Policy is one way, but are there other ways to sort of help or incentivize people to change behaviors?